especially in the winter time.
Like the buy supply.
All the fenders, they bondled them up. So you. Hold on a second. Yeah.
See the things right here? It's like they had something mounted here.
Oh, yeah.
It's still solid, but.
So the one guy that works there, he's a mechanic, new door. He worked on that door, he worked on it from here to there.
Fucking man.
I bet you worked on this thing for about 5 years before he finally got painted on the truck.
What basic they are.
Looks clean. This will all clean up.
Right in the wrong. Old number 13 up.
Custom Deluxe. So ironically, we like to search the surplus websites every once in a while, and we came across this K20. This one has been in Wisconsin its entire life. It's fairly rust-free. I mean, for being a square body and an actual original Rust Belt truck being used almost every day for the municipality. Pretty good shape. The front fenders got a little bit of rust, but the rockers and the frame and everything underneath, absolutely gorgeous. This is actually a one-owner vehicle owned by the state of Wisconsin. A municipality, like I was saying before, owned it. It was a highway runner, if you will. It has some features on it that we're just going to go over really quickly, and then we're going to take it for a test drive and kind of show you what it's all about. But being a one-owner vehicle, the actual person that drove this from when it was purchased brand new by the state and delivered, he kept really good care of it. Oiled the heck out of the thing. He knew where it was all going to rust, such in the wheel wells and the fenders and the rockers and floor pans. All of it's original, and he actually did a heck of a job keeping it all oiled up. From what we see, it looks like elevator oil or something. Really nice job. He did an awesome job keeping it all clean, and he actually ended up bidding on this. I mean, he's maintained it. He did everything to it, and so he tried winning it, and eventually he just backed out of the auction, and he didn't end up getting it. That being said, this thing is in very good shape. The only thing we can really find wrong with it is the front fenders are a little rusty up in the corners, and the seat's a little torn, and other than that, it looks awesome. They did an awesome job. So this truck was actually built in Wisconsin at the Janesville GM plant, rest in peace, which is now demolished, and delivered to a municipality about 4 hours north of here, and they used it from 1979 up until about a month ago when they got their new one delivered to them, and then obviously went to the auction site, and now it's residing here with us. So you may be asking yourself, or maybe not, what do you get when you buy an auctioned municipality vehicle like this truck? What comes with it? What does it mainly look like? And what do you expect out of it? So obviously every auction vehicle will be different. This is just kind of what we got with ours. Ours came with a utility fiberglass bed on the back, which is in really good shape for the age. From what I can expect, or from what I found while researching this vehicle, is that this was actually built as a utility K20 from the factory. So I'm assuming this box has been with it since day one. They used it as a welding rig for out on the highway and stuff. So very good shape, honestly. The inside's a little dirty. We haven't touched it yet, but as far as the outside, very good shape, very cool. It also came with this light up here, which actually works. And I don't know if they were supposed to sell it all hooked up and whatnot. Not 100% sure, but this one works. It also has a Megaphone, and you could see there was an old, from the auction pictures, they actually still had the CB unit inside of it, but that's all taken out now. So that Megaphone is absolutely useless. So this sucker actually did come with a vise as well. Kind of interesting. I'm sure they used pieces from whatever they needed to weld this thing up, and you know, they put, you know, whatever they had to weld probably in this thing and then weld it. But the coolest part, in my opinion, of this entire truck is this utility crane. It also works. It's geared super low, so you got to crank the heck out of it to even get it to move an inch. But you could probably lift anything with this thing. It is really heavy duty, very cool. Other than that, pretty much in the rear, it's got a steel bumper on the back and a hitch where you can hook up a lot of highway equipment with it. Ugh. So nothing to really see on the passenger side of the box. I just figured I'd open up one of these compartments you can kind of see. Like I was saying before, it's pretty dirty. Here's where you fill up the gas on this side. Other than that, it's pretty basic. There's no shelves, there's nothing in here, and except for a little coat hanger rack or something. Probably where they hung their gloves for welding. Let's go with that. So as far as the interior goes, since it's a custom K20, very basic, honestly. I mean, plastic door panels, it's got a seat cover on it, custom written on the dash, it's pretty much all metal. It doesn't even have a tack on it. Instead of where the tack is, it's a fuel gauge. So very basic, no headliner, nothing in here. It's pretty stripped. Can't even crack the back window. This is what I was kind of saying before. The rockers are in very good shape, and you can actually see on the doors and whatnot underneath this this elevator oil, or whatever you want to call it. You can really see it in the engine bay. It's covered in it. The fenders, I mean, he tried just covering everything. The hood, you name it, it's covered in elevator oil. Well, what do we got underneath the hood? We got the ultimate Chevy 350, so killing this thing might be kind of hard. It's in great shape. We are going to do a once over on this, just a tune up, spark plug wires, air filter. The valve cover gaskets are leaking, so we're gonna do the valve cover gaskets. Just kind of a once over, and just make it so it's tuned up and it's in better shape, because a lot of this stuff hasn't been touched in a long time. It even has the original jack underneath it in the engine bay here, which is kind of funny, and you can really just see the elevator oil just smothered all over this thing. Other than that, you could basically look down on each side, left and right, and you can see the ground. I mean, it's pretty basic. There's nothing really special. It sounds very cool. The muffler's been replaced on it once already, but it's kind of expected out of a 42-year-old vehicle. So now one of the absolute coolest things that came with this truck. This truck, the municipality that it was at, they had to keep track of every single piece of work that was done to this truck, as you can see. And it's actually really funny. Some of the stuff dates back. Here's one from 1979, and they actually put on here, it was a bolt for $11, which is kind of funny. So they went through this whole thing. I mean, all the way up here is 2019, just stacks and stacks. This truck has had its once over a few times, actually. I mean, here's one from 94, you know, heater core, and very funny, just very basic, but kind of funny how they even had to write just a single bolt on there for 11 bucks. So not only that, but the truck also did come with the original manual here, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's a light duty truck, gasoline. It basically just says everything in here. It also did come with like a maintenance schedule from 1978, the original tire tire and lube brochure, Freedom batteries from 1978, just all kind of small things. Basically just some really cool old paperwork that has stayed with the truck since day one, which is very cool. So, now comes the main question. What is it like to drive an untouched municipality vehicle that has been owned by the state and that has been untouched since the last bill we ever saw on there, which could have been 2019 for all we know? Well, let's find out. It smells kind of musty in here. So now this truck has 140,000 on it. So I guess before we start it up, buckle up for safety. Seatbelt's a little black, but what do you expect? I mean, it was used by the highway, so. Well, you can definitely tell the clutch has 140,000 on it. Wow, yeah. Interesting. Okay, so I can hear a lot of noise coming from the engine. It almost sounds like a bearing is bad. Water pump, maybe? Okay, let's see what this thing's got. It almost feels like, it's weird because the shifter is super long, but to get into gear, it's actually very short, if that makes sense. And there's some slop in the steering wheel. I mean, it's 42 years old. It feels like it drives great, honestly. Alignment's off a little bit, but 140,000 on it, not bad. So since I've never driven a truck like this, the closest truck I've driven is the Marty McFly truck. It's actually quite interesting. It feels a lot bigger. I'm so used to just a small pickup truck, where this feels like an old school truck. It's actually a very cool feeling, especially with the 3-speed in it. It's very cool. And actually this has a as some people call it, a granny gear. Let's test out here on our next turn. I mean, it sounds cool. You know, it sounds like an old truck, which is really, really cool. Very open. I mean, you can see like everything, which is super cool. The point of view is amazing. So our goals with this truck, I think we want to turn it back to an actual pickup style K20. I think we want to get rid of this utility bed and sell it and hopefully find a pickup box. This is a long box. This is an 8-footer. We're hoping to find a cleaner bed, so less body work. It's actually very comfortable too. It almost feels like you're sitting on a couch, if you will. Very unique. Okay, so we're actually going to try this granny gear out. On the stick it says L, but we call it granny because it's almost pointless. So let's give this a whirl. So we are officially in the granny gear. And that's it. I'm doing about 3 miles an hour. There's first. There's second. And then there's third. So I would probably never use that granny gear unless I'm pulling something. Cool to have though, very cool. Very unique. All in all, very cool truck, very fun. Like I was saying before, we're gonna turn it back into a pickup truck. I think what we're gonna do, let me know. Do you think maybe it should just stay a utility truck? Think it should go to the pickup truck? The options are endless with these old square body pickups. Very cool. Thanks a ton for watching. I hope to see some comments on what you think we should do to this thing. Be sure to stay tuned. We got a Pulse video coming up soon of the spaceship motorcycle thingy. So watch for that one pretty soon. Until then, I will see you in the next video.